up, Cincinnati? Hey, you know you're a fat guy? I just noticed this, and that's what makes it even more of a fat guy move.
Okay.
As I just noticed that I have peanut butter all over the back of my phone.
That's fat guy.
That's a fat guy move right there. I didn't notice until just now, and that means I haven't had peanut butter since last night, so that means it's been on my phone for at least 12, 13 hours at this point.
That's funny because when I got here, your dogs ran up to the fence and they had peanut butter.
I told you I don't do that. I like a cat's rough tongue, but the wife won't let me get a cat.
You can have my cat.
I'm not allowed having cats.
Oh, that cat will live in the garage.
I'm grounded. I'm grounded from cats.
That cat will live in the garage, basement, whatever.
Why?
Attic.
You don't want your own cat?
I love the cat.
No, you don't. You're trying to give it away.
No,
I don't give away my dogs.
I'm not home very much, and I kind of feel shitty sometimes because I leave the cat alone all the time.
Ah, poor fucking sad cat. You think cats give a shit that they're alone all the time?
Well, I normally would think no, but when I come in from wherever I've been, that fucking cat's all over me.
You know what you should do? If you give a shit about your animal and give a shit about your cat, you go to the store, you buy 12 mice, 7 mice, and every day before you leave, you let a little mouse loose, and then that gives the cat something to do. You can chase the mouse for a couple hours, kill it. They fuck with them. They don't kill it right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cats have a good time, little murderous cunts. And
they do. They'll
and
like
then he
bite
has a
it
good
to stun
time.
it, and then, you want to run?
And you won't have mice because the cat's going to kill it. And as soon as that cat doesn't kill it, you come home one day and there's not a dead mouse, no more mice. Hey, fucker, you got to kill him.
Yeah.
So now you got to find this one before you get a new one. I'm not trying to have a mouse infested. I think they kill them. I don't know if they eat them or not. I found a headless bunny in my backyard a couple weeks ago. I don't know if my dogs ate the head off of it. I thought that was pretty vicious if so.
The whole head was gone.
The head was gone. I don't know where it went. It was just gone.
It could have been a number of animals.
Carmen's
Coyote,
like
raccoons.
Carmen's like, Duke caught a mole in the backyard. He's throwing it in the air. I'm like, okay, because he does do that. He'll catch the mole and he just tosses them in the fucking air like an asshole.
After they're dead?
Or it doesn't matter. He just does it right away. They usually die pretty quick because he's a terrier, so he's breaks their neck pretty quick. He grabs them and does that crazy shake thing and then throws them in. Either way, I go back there and it was no fucking mole. It was a giant bunny without its head. And
Duke ate the head.
I guess.
Yeah.
You eat a head? Where'd the skull go? Is he crunching skull?
Maybe he bit the head off.
I'm hoping that my dogs do some kind of satanic ritual in the back. They cut the heads off bunnies. They do different dances
I wonder if your
around
dogs, do they know how to light candles and stuff?
You don't need candles for dog I can't say words. Satanic rituals. That's just for humans. The dogs, they're more of the bunny head removing, and then they do a funny dance. And then what they really do is they put the dead bunny in the middle, and they do that butt scoot, where they think you think they're just scratching their ass. They're not. They're worshiping Satan. And they're going around in the circle worshiping Satan.
You think dogs worship Satan?
Yes, dude. That's what that butt scratch is. Everybody always thinks it's worms. They think, the dog's anal glands need let loose. No. You got a Satan worshiping dog. He's showing his fucking love to the Dark Lord by putting his ass on the lowest point and letting Satan tickle his ass. That's what Satan's into, dude. Come on, think about it.
Satan tickles anything.
Satan's only an anal guy. You know that.
Yeah, but he fists, I bet.
Well, and that's when you get down there. This is foreplay.
He's got those talons.
This is foreplay.
Yeah.
He gets you excited by tickling your ass as you're running around the ground. And then you get downstairs to hell.
Right.
And you're expecting some good loving, but that's when you get the fucking fist up your ass with his nails and such.
I know you're not a religious guy, but
what do you mean? I just told you everything I know about religion.
Do you think, I'm not trying to piss off any, Catholic friends or anything, but you think hell's really that bad? I mean, you think when you're down there, you're actually on fire and feeling it the whole time?
I don't know. I don't believe in hell.
Or are you sitting around, watching strippers and playing cards and drinking and doing drugs?
Yeah, you're doing like things that people in hell that would go to hell would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, no big deal. I want to be there.
It sounds like a lot more fun.
Yeah, I don't like harps. So the idea of sitting on a cloud and listening to some fucking queer play with a harp, that's not a good time.
I just don't.
Sorry, I just said queer. There's no queers in heaven. You homos are going to hell. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Oh, never mind.
Man.
I don't believe it.
Bauman.
I don't believe it. All right? I'm not a religious fella. I'm just saying that, they believe it. They might be nice to your face, but they
So how pissed off am I?
I don't know. Tell me.
Called in sick to work last night because we had really good seats at the Reds game. Mm-hmm. Got rained out. Fucking waste.
Yeah. I was kind of happy.
Were you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I didn't get an invite. And then I was like, oh, fuck those guys. And then I was like, I got rained out anyways.
Well, you got my invite today.
Yeah, I didn't want to go. I would have said no to that one too.
Oh.
But I need the invite.
Well, no, we were. Mike is a big Cardinal fan, and him and I have a bet.
That's what I got. See, like, when you initially told me this, I was like, fucking Mike. That's my replacement. Who the fuck is Mike?
No.
You know, because I noticed since I haven't worked at this place anymore that our chat thread that we used to have together that used to be used all the fucking time now gets no use.
Well, 90% of those
never
posts
gets
came
used.
from you, and we commented on them.
Oh, okay. I'm the loudmouth.
No, not loudmouth. You just had more to say. And
okay, fair enough.
Mike and I made a bet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Reds fan. He's a Cardinal fan. And he goes, hey, fucker.
Yeah.
How about
I would have been good with Pettigrew.
how about going to the fucking game on one of these days? And I'm like, hey, that sounds fun. I'm always down for a Reds game.
St. Louis sucks this year.
And then Matt goes, hey, I can call my uncle, see if we can get tickets. So
We got you some sweet tickets?
yeah, literally right behind the on-deck circle.
Oh, nice.
And so basically it was just, it wasn't a, hey, let's plan a game. Who should we invite? Not Jason. Wasn't that. It was...
It's a good move, though.
And Mike shows up wearing this fucking bird sitting on his head with fucking furry legs coming down and a fucking cardinal hat.
Oh, you guys
on.
actually went?
We didn't know it wasn't canceled till we got down there.
All right, well, okay. I don't know fucking Mike.
We were pulling into the fucking garage.
But I appreciate Mike's hat. Whatever you just
You
said
worked
he's
there
wearing.
with Mike.
Did I? I don't remember. But
Yeah.
I don't remember you, Mike. You're not memorable. But either way, that would be memorable if you have the fucking bird hat.
The bird hat.
I kind of appreciate that. So.
And then Matt was wearing his Cardinal shirt.
Yeah.
So it was me and Nate basically against those two.
Did you fight? You should have fought him in the parking lot.
When I was leaving, I punched Matt in the balls.
Okay, good.
Just for the shirt.
Who would win
What?
if that group fought?
I'd say me and Nate would win.
You and Nate would beat Matt and Mike.
Yeah, Mike's a
I don't know Mike, so
decent in shape guy, but I think basically
you think Matt makes up for it?
no. I'm not saying that.
I think it does a little bit.
I don't think Matt's ever been in a fight in his life. I think Matt's a pretty non-violent person.
And Matt has a peg leg at this point.
Yeah.
So that makes
So
it very
basically,
easy.
Nate and I pull Mike to the side where Matt, even if Matt came running after us, it would take him time to get there.
Yeah.
We beat shit out of Mike, and then
Well, Nathan said
basically-
he was happy that the fucking game got canceled anyways because he won $500 gambling. So
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he won his poker tournament.
isn't
But they're
it
there
pretty
right now.
cool though to be friends with a poker king?
Oh man, let me tell you something
Yeah,
about this guy.
tell me.
He goes to real fucking
ones.
card rooms.
Card rooms.
He travels around playing poker. I mean, we're in the presence of greatness, really.
Does he wear his glasses?
I think he wears his sunglasses. I think he
Oh.
wears his headphones. Usually a backpack on.
And that Bengals hat that he's literally had since I've met him. How does he make hats last that long?
I don't know,
That's impressive in itself.
but I think anybody who's stupid enough to walk into the Nathan poker lair
They're gone.
is just asking for what they get.
They're fucking gone.
Your money's gone because this guy plays real poker against real poker players,
Yeah.
and I'm proud to know.
Me too, man. Me too.
You hear the names?
Good friend of mine, just poker
Helmuth,
legend,
fucking Phil Ivey,
moneymaker.
Nathan. They're all right there.
Oh,
in the
right
same-
there.
Yeah, they're in the same category. Plays real cards and real poker.
Real,
Travels
for
to play-
real money.
Travels to play tournaments. This guy's for real.
Yeah, I'm intimidated. I know every time we play a game at the
I won't play.
at the cabin, I'll play, but it's just to donate. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if I give him a couple bucks here and there, then he can go further in his own tournaments.
To me, it's like going to
It's just
a concert.
helping a friend out, letting him practice.
Going to a concert.
Yeah.
I'll pay the money to witness such fucking expertise. I'll sit there and just every time he takes me down, I'll be like, "Fuck, that guy's good."
I look at it as like when Michael Jordan comes up and offers me a one-on-one game. I'm not going to turn it down
No.
because you can say you played one-on-one with Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
but you don't expect to win.
Oh,
you
no.
know your money's just going out
Oh,
the
no.
window.
Like
with
when
this
we're
guy.
at the cabin and someone says, "Hey, let's play poker," I'm like, I'll donate
Yeah, sure. Why don't we just give it to Nate now so we don't waste our time putting it in the middle for
because
a
we
little while.
want to see it. We
Yes.
want to see the skill.
Hey,
'Cause
you know what?
He plays at real poker rooms.
You know what I've found out this week?
What?
Not just this week, but in the last couple weeks, it feels good to make America great again. And what I mean by that is I have no problem now because I'm in sales becoming full MAGA for like 15, 20 minutes at a time. So depending on what the customer wants or what they talk about, if they go into it, I turn right there with them and I'm with them. And why I'm there as a white guy, It feels good. I think I belong. You know what I mean?
You look like a MAGA
You ever
guy.
heard that? I think Bill Burr has a bit about that. As a white guy, when you put on a suit, all of a sudden you start bossing people around. It comes natural. I feel like that when you put on the MAGA personality. All of a sudden, you look at foreigners different. You know what I mean? Everything just turns a different color. And guess what? It might be a little bit brighter.
So, like, hypothetically, let's say you go out to the lot and there's two couples there. There's a couple wearing Trump shirts and whatever, and then there's let's say, an Indian couple. They're both looking to buy a vehicle.
I'm going straight to the Trumpers.
Yeah, and you're going to say, I'm going to take care of these Americans before I take care of any of these foreigners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, what are you, the 7-Eleven or the 9/11 types? I'm not exactly sure, but either way, I'm going with the crackers over here in the red
I don't even
hats.
think that counts as like turning, because you're trying to make a sale.
No, I'm just talking about in general. Yeah, when they start talking about the tariffs or they start talking about just any of the policies, I'm right there. Oh, he's really doing a good job, isn't he? He's going to show those libtards. Say shit like that, you know?
You know, speaking of that, it's like I don't Uber as much as I used to. I don't even come close to that. But
I never did that with Uber.
But isn't it uncomfortable as fuck, like when you're driving with somebody and they start spewing bullshit and you want to say, shut the fuck up, dude.
I usually brush it off by saying I don't pay attention. That's in Uber. That was always my move. It's like, I don't pay attention to politics, man. I don't really dig talking about it because I don't know anything. I just say shit like that because then I get out of the argument.
I'm talking about like when I picked up a guy 3-4 weeks ago, and he literally, I'm driving down the road, and he goes, I was taking him to his destination. He goes, "Whoo, a lot of brothers around here, ain't there?"
That could go either way.
No, he meant it derogatory. I knew it.
Yeah.
But he never. Now, if a guy like that was to throw the N-word out at me, I'd say, dude, I'm not comfortable with that. Don't do that. But when he says, oh, a lot of brothers around there, the first thing I thought of, I'm just going to fucking get to the destination, get this fuck out of the car.
How old was this fella?
30s.
Yeah, that's too young to be doing that then. There is an age group, and you're in that age group, honestly. And I would say about like 10 to 15 years older than me, where brothers was not a derogatory term. You know what I mean?
The way he said it was derogatory.
And I get what you're saying, but like my dad says it, and I know my dad's not racist. You know, and he'll still say the brothers because that's, I guess that was the nice way to say it at one point or another. You know what I mean? And I don't, it's not my thing.
I thought to myself, he said brother.
Yeah.
He goes, man, lots of brothers around here.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there going, well, he didn't use the N-word.
No, but that's because he doesn't know you.
And he didn't say anything real derogatory, but I could tell what he wanted was for me to turn and say, oh, yeah, and then really get into it with him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm just going to get this fuck out of my car.
Now, if they said the N-word, I'd literally pull over and go, well, you're joining them. And as soon as you get out of the window, I'm going to yell that word and take off.
Like Chappelle did to that kid on that.
Exactly, because fuck you. But
I mean, the N-word, no, I definitely would just say, dude, knock that shit off, not in this car. But
yeah.
I could tell he wanted me to engage, like, oh yeah, white power. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even engage.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't engage. I wouldn't go that far for a sale either.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if we're getting there, then we're not. But no, I don't deal with people like that. That's poor people behavior.
Yeah. But like I said, this guy didn't say anything derogatory, like, hey, I wonder how many drugs are being sold around here. Nothing like that. He didn't say any. All he said was, ooh, lots of brothers around here.
Well, that's less racist, actually, because depending on the neighborhood, you're like, yeah, there is a lot of drugs being sold around here. But yeah, I grew up in Amelia. There was a heroin problem. It doesn't matter where you live.
Oh, I know.
So
I'm just saying, I find it really uncomfortable when somebody's in the car and they're making conversation and then they just pull something so stupid out of their fucking ass and you just want to say, God, you're retarded.
Yeah, and sometimes I just tell them that they're retarded.
Now, if somebody happens to say, hey, man, Trump's really fucking deporting a lot of fucking people, I'll be like, hey, dude, let's talk.
That's my thing. Babies, who cares?
I'm not a fucking hurtful person, but you know me, and I've said it on this show a million times. I'm for legal immigration. Foreigners. I'm for legal immigration.
Yeah, that's not.
If you're here illegally, fuck off.
But they don't. Do they let Mexicans legally immigrate here anymore? I don't think.
Well, not since Trump took over.
Well, I mean, even before then, I don't know.
Oh, before then, Mexican citizens worked in the U.S.
Sure, but they didn't get here legally.
But what I'm saying is, they drive to work. Hey, I'm here now. Fuck this.
I get that, but I'm saying, when was the last time they just let Mexicans legally move here? They have no choice but to come in illegally, right? Am I wrong? I'm not sure. Yeah, but they were mad at them then. I mean, they don't want to give them any way to get in, right?
We pretty much, I mean, I'm not a Trumper. But with Biden, we pretty much had open borders. Come on in. You're welcome.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, has there ever been a time where they legally come in? That was still illegal. We just didn't care. He wasn't enforcing the law. But I'm not sure.
Oh, you mean where we said, hey, you want to move here? Sure, come on.
Yeah, pretty sure we only let the crackers come in. I don't think we let anybody else, or like rich Indians and
that's another
Asians.
Thing. Us as Americans, we could just move anywhere we wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, let's say there was a Mexican family, hypothetically.
Maybe, I don't know.
Mexican family.
A couple countries that don't take us anymore.
That wanted to sneak into the country.
Uh-huh.
This is a real question because I'm wondering the answer to this.
Okay.
They want to come into the country.
Come on in.
And, sometimes they pay $5,000 to $10,000 a person to get smuggled in a truck with one of those coyotes. Yeah. But let's say the Mexican family said, I want to take my kids to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Are they legally allowed to visit? Drive over here, take their kids to Disneyland, and then just say, fuck, we ain't going back?
I don't know.
That's my whole question. Is there a list of countries that we say you're not allowed to visit here?
I think so. I'm not sure.
That's a real question.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I was saying. Is like they don't have people say they want them to come here legally, and it's like I don't think they can. I'm not sure they can.
What I'm saying is, what if you have you said move here legally? Mm-hmm. I'm saying, what if they said, okay, I
just wanted to visit.
I'm just going to pretend I'm going to Disneyland.
I'm pretty sure you can just get a passport or a visa and all that other stuff and do
it just well, then why don't they all do that instead of spending $5,000 on a fucking coyote? Spend $20 or $100 on a Disneyland ticket.
Because then they know you.
Get a hotel.
Now you're in their system. Though.
They don't give a fuck. They changed their fucking name. I worked at a restaurant in fucking Westchester. These guys went every year. These Guatemalan dudes went every year to Chicago to get a new driver's license, a new fucking passport, and a new name.
I know. The Mexican that the married his wife guy did the same thing. He left as a Bernardo, came back as a Sabano.
Yeah, so they don't.
And then we give you shit when you call him by his regular name. Like, dude, fuck you. You were that like a month ago. I know you. Don't pretend like you tried to get me to marry your wife. I'm calling you Bernardo, okay, fucker.
I mean, that's the whole point. If somebody from England says, I want to go to Disneyland, they're going to say, yeah, come on in, bring your passport, you're in.
You got an
What if a Mexican family wanted to do it?
I think you're stuck. I think just good luck in Mexico.
Let's say hypothetically it was a wealthy Mexican family, Mexican doctor.
Then they can
Is the government going to say, you're not allowed to take your kids to Disneyland?
I think they can go to Disneyland.
Then the whole point is, they're spending $10,000 a person trying to sneak over the border and even risking their life at sometimes. Why not just say, hey, we're going to Disneyland?
Yeah.
We're going to the beach.
And that costs less than $10,000.
Costs a couple hundred.
And you get to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
You get to see the fucking mouse.
Hey, Disneyland's over. All right, where are we going to live?
All right,
we're here.
Tallahassee, here we come.
Yeah. Wherever the fuck.
I don't know. They're hiring housekeepers at a resident inn in Portland. Let's get it.
I'm just saying. I would like to know, is there a list of countries that we say, well, you are not allowed to visit this country?
I think we should just let them in. And if they let them follow the Oregon Trail, if they can get all the way along the Oregon Trail without dying, then they get to stay.
Well, in that case, we need to have thousands of pissed off Native Americans trying to kill them. We need to have desperados riding around on horses.
That's what we could, instead of sending those El Salvadors back to wherever they're going, where they have to stick each other's nose in their butts in the jail cells, we'll keep them here, put feathers on their head, and make them fight the Mexicans that are trying to go up the Oregon Trail. It kind of kills both of them a little bit.
Do you realize if you put a classified ad in, let's say, every newspaper in America, Donald Trump is hiring people to dress up like cowboys and hunt down Mexicans that are on the Oregon Trail. You know how many applicants there would be?
I'm not doing the greatest right now. What's it paying?
Hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to dress like cowboys and kill them Mexicans.
Well, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to dress like an Indian and kill the Mexicans, but you're doing a little bit different.
Well, what I'm saying is, do you know how many twisted fuckers would say, I want that job?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that'd be full.
I get to ride around on a horse, and if I see a Mexican convoy, I get to fucking pull out my 6-shooter and...
It has to be an old school 6-shooter.
Yeah.
We're not letting you do...
Colt.
We're not letting you use these automatic weapons. All right, no. Guys, no. You got to go old school. I want this gun to at least.
And that's one of the rules with the Mexicans that are sneaking in.
Or a lasso.
You have to have a Colt too. You're not allowed to have an Uzi while the Cowboys got a.
Nope. And you got to be wearing moccasins. Just cuz. Just cuz. Yeah, I think it'll work. They need to put us in charge, dude. We got much better ideas than these politicians.
I mean, we definitely have better news stories.
And we just recreated the Oregon Trail with Mexicans and El
Fuck
Salvadorans and cowboys.
And these guys could literally create a name for themselves, like the Rough Riders.
Yeah,
or something
dude.
like
They'll
that.
have video games and movies based on them. It's going to be awesome. Everybody's going to win, besides all the people that'll die. But, you got to break a little couple eggs, is what they say. We got an asshole?
I got one.
All right. Well, that's not work anyways, like it does every time. So we'll fucking do it again. And then we'll press that button.
Asshole of the week.
All right. Asshole of the week.
My asshole of the week is me.
That's hilarious, guys, because before we get to his, I'm going to tell you my asshole of the week is me.
Really?
Yeah, so you're first.
Oh, God. I felt like the biggest douchebag in the world, but at the same time, I felt very fulfilled.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I grocery shop at Meijer.
We know. I don't know why, but we know.
Because it's the closest one to my house.
Mm-hmm.
They have put up 3 parking spaces here and 3 parking spaces here that say 15-minute quick trip parking.
Mm-hmm.
Going in to get one item.
I like those.
I love those. So I pull into one after I drive around the lot a little bit looking for a space. I pull into one. As I'm getting out of my car, there's a man. My guess is 72, 75-ish. I was in a bad mood because I was in a hurry and I was driving all around looking for a parking space. So as I get out, here comes an old man with a full fucking cart of bags. Fucker was in there an hour, at least. Okay? And I don't know why I said it. He was minding his own business. I was minding mine. But he was parked in one of the quick trip parkings.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, you do a lot of shopping in 15 minutes, don't you, fuckhead? And I walked by him. And he turned and looked at me like one of those hidden camera shows where like, the fuck's wrong with this guy? And then when I got inside, I said, man, I just called a 75-year-old man a fuckhead. And I felt like an asshole. And I am an asshole. But the whole point is,
you weren't wrong.
I wasn't wrong.
No.
Right?
Mm-mm.
A whole fucking full-size cart filled to the brim with bags.
No, fuck that guy.
You did not shop there in
Age
15
don't
minutes.
make him any less of an asshole.
Right.
Now, a guy like that should be getting some kind of handicap parking because he's old. Don't
Right.
you just get handicap parking for being old eventually?
You could.
But either way, age doesn't save you here, buddy. You're an asshole.
I said, you got a lot of stuff for 15 minutes, fuckhead. Walked by, and as soon as I got in the house, I went, was the fuckhead really necessary?
that was pretty aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say it loud or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like, man, a lot of groceries in 15 minutes there, fuckhead. And I walked in, and I could just feel his eyes burning in the back of my fucking head. And rightly so, because he's minding his own fucking business. But don't take the 15-minute parking space.
Yeah, I do that all the time at the grocery store, talk under my breath, and I wonder if people hear me because it's never nice.
Yeah, this wasn't under my breath.
Well, it's, yeah,
this
okay.
was fuckhead.
Yeah, that's different.
You know, and I really felt like an asshole when I was in there. But then when I justified it to myself, like, you're in the 15-minute fucking parking space.
He was in the wrong.
Right.
But there can be two assholes in a situation sometimes.
Well, in that case, I guess there was.
Yeah. I think I was the only asshole. I would say the others are a little overreacting. But I think I'm the only asshole in this situation. All right. So my kid is on a McDonald's kick. He was Wendy's for years. Now he's McDonald's. And every Sunday he gets to pick what he wants. Okay. So we've been getting a lot of McDonald's on
Chicken
Sundays.
nuggets.
It's the McFlurry. It's not, the chicken nuggets are the same everywhere. But now he's gone from the Frosty to the McFlurry. That's really all it comes down to. Anyhow, so I go through the drive-thru and I order a 6-piece nugget Happy Meal with a small McFlurry, or with a Sprite, and then a small McFlurry. So I go to the front window, and the guy rings me up a weird price. And I was like, why is it that? Or no, never mind. I went to the front window and I paid. I didn't even pay attention. I just paid. He paid it. Then I go to the second window to get my food. The guy hands me a big Sprite, which I know don't come with a fucking Happy Meal, and then a 6-piece nugget and a McFlurry. So not the Happy Meal. And I just in general, I just grabbed it. I guess that retard back there just heard me wrong. I actually got a 6-piece nugget. Well, and that's exactly how I said it. I wasn't like, I didn't mean it I know I called him a retard, but at the same time, I wasn't. And this fucking guy lost his shit.
Did he really?
And he's like, did you call him a retard? Is that what you just said? And I go, I guess I did, man. I wasn't really meaning it like that. I was just saying that he must have heard me wrong. And he's flipping the fuck out. And then I was like,
your money's no good here.
Well, no, he had the card. And I was like, listen, man. I was like, just give me my card back. I'm good. You know what I mean? Refund me my money. We're good. Like, and because he was just flipping out. And I'm just like, ugh. And then, so he
Did the manager run over?
He closes the door. Next, this fucking white trash bitch with this ugliest neck tattoo I've ever seen in my life sticks her head out. She's like, do we have a problem here, sir? And I'm like, nah. I was like, I just want my money back. And she's like, well, I hope you know that kid back there is 16 years old. He has parents. He is, and I'm
really?
Yeah. She just starts going on. I go, all right. I was like, I just want my money back so I can leave. Can I get my money back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she slams the window again. Then the guy comes back and says, here's your money. I was like, all right, have a nice day, retards. And this guy hung out the fucking window, screaming as I'm driving off. And I'm fucking laughing my ass off at this point because his reaction was just so over the top. Like, I really didn't mean it that bad at first.
But what if he was?
He wasn't. The guy wasn't retarded. I heard his voice. I had an interaction with him. He's the guy I paid the money to. He was just a young kid. He probably heard me wrong. You know, he's a young stoner or something. I fuck up all the time. If someone was to say that about me, if we were on a craps table and, you know, and you fucked up someone's payment and the guy told me, he's like, this fucking retard fucked up my payment. I go, yeah, he's retarded, isn't he? You know, because that's the way we would act with our coworkers. And then we'd laugh. And then as soon as they'd left, we'd call them like, hey, he called you a retard. You know, and then we'd make fun of each other.
I'd be like, where the fuck called me a retard?
Exactly. But they didn't take it that way at McDonald's. I think that retard word hits a little bit harder there than it does, you know, in the normal world that I'm used to. So
I think they hired developmentally
disabled.
Yeah,
but this kid wasn't. I wouldn't call an actual mentally disabled person that. Like, that's not right. I would not do that. But some silly stoner that just heard my words wrong, yeah, I'll call him a retard and not think anything of it. But, dude, just their reaction just cracked me the fuck up. I avoided that McDonald's for a few weeks.
Retard and fuckhead.
Yeah,
is what made us.
I'm an asshole. I mean, I get it. I'm an asshole. That shouldn't be my natural thing to say. It really shouldn't. I'm an asshole.
Well, neither should call an old man fuckhead.
No.
It was in the moment.
We're both assholes in the moment. I really didn't mean anything by it, but you know, I was still in a good mood. I just fixed this.
Well, no, but see, now you're starting to fall into my category.
Where you're justifying it?
Well, how you rag on me all the time, call me old.
Yeah.
And you know, I throw the word fag around because I told you that was a word I used when I was a kid. Well, retard was a word you used when you were young.
No, well, so is fag.
But now these days, those words aren't acceptable.
I have a harder time giving up retard.
But you're stuck giving up that word.
Yeah, well, I should.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm stuck giving up the word fag.
Yeah, we're outdated, dude.
And I don't mean it in a derogatory manner.
We're outdated. Think about it. Where things become out, the VCRs don't exist anymore either. I mean, you just reach a certain time where whatever you are is just not what's going on in the world, and you just got to kind of accept it and move on.
Yeah.
And try not to piss in it, or just lean hard into it and not give a shit. I mean, but then you are an asshole.
But then you're the guy that people talk about all the time.
No, you shouldn't do that either. I'm just saying that some people choose to do that. I choose to go, okay, maybe I shouldn't fucking do that. But it's a hard one to get out of my vocabulary. The fag's hard for me to get out of my vocabulary.
Well, me too, but I don't, like I said, I don't mean it derogatory. They say, hey, did you see that girl over there? I don't mean the one over there talking to two fags. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't mean anything bad about your lifestyle. I just,
I would never do that though. That's I guess the difference. When I say fag, I'm very, very, very seldomly referring to an actual gay person. Like now I might say homos, a couple homos over there.
I think that's just as bad.
I don't. And I think, I think they would disagree.
You're justifying it by saying it's not as bad.
Well, because I'm not meaning the bad.
I think if you walked up to a gay guy, yeah, but if you were to say homosexual, different story. But when you walk up and call somebody, hey, fucking homo.
I'm not saying fucking homo. I'm saying those two homos over there. It's the same way for me to go over there with those couple ladies. Over there with a couple homos, over there with a couple dudes. That's what I would call them. I don't consider that a derogatory term.
Now, if you were to be talking to a gay man and say,
totally be wrong.
Hey, homo, and then a straight guy walks up and you say, hey, hetero, now that would be justified.
It'd be fine.
Homo's just as bad.
No, they're calling me dude. They call me dude. Homos aren't dudes. They're homos. I don't think they disagree. Where's Brent at? Brent hasn't been on here in a long time. I got some gay questions I need to ask him.
Well, I guarantee if you say, you can't, those are fine questions to ask a gay person. But I'm at the point now where I don't think Brent
is the representation of gays.
I think Brent has very, very thick skin, and a lot of things that wouldn't bother him might bother others.
Yeah. I mean, that'll happen when
But I think Brent knows what bothers others.
Yeah, well, that's why I would ask.
Yeah, and so it's a valid question.
No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I could say anything I want to Brent. He's not really going to be offended.
No.
Because Brent knows me too, so he knows my intentions.
Now, let me ask you a question.
That makes
Do you think
a big
a gay person, because this is something that you say to your hetero friends all the time. Let's say we're sitting around playing cards.
Yeah.
And we have a gay friend playing cards with us. Okay. And he wins the pot, and I say, you fucking cocksucker, you. Mm-hmm. Would that sound like I was going after him because he's gay? Because I call you a cocksucker.
Yeah, but you would call me a fag too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But would a gay person be offended if I said, you cocksucker, you? Probably.
I guess.
If they didn't know me.
If they didn't know you for sure. Well, not for sure. I mean, you could have a real laid back one. But yeah, but it's not something you would say to a gay person if you did not know them.
If a gay person said to me, you
pussy
pussy eater,
you wouldn't care.
I'd go.
Yeah.
So why would that be an upsetting thing?
Because in the history of the world, cocksucking is looked at as a derogatory thing.
Not if you're gay. Not if you're born gay.
No, but it's just in general, gays aren't looked at as great in the history of the world for the most part. And yeah, that's just known as a derogatory thing where I guess it's not to eat a pussy. I don't fucking know, dude. What do you think I am? Jesus?
I think more and more people these days, I think butt eating is becoming the norm.
No, it's 100% becoming the norm.
Yeah.
No, a lot of your stuff that you're into is now becoming more of a normal thing.
I think I started most of it.
I don't think you started shit.
I started the
butt eating.
Let me tell you something. I guarantee in all the years of us doing this show,
Satan started butt eating.
I've turned one or two people to butt eating that never ate butt before.
Who?
I don't know.
Who? You think
I have no idea.
You think Harry guy's eating butt?
Fuck no, he doesn't even cream pie. Harry guy's
just
not
started cream pie.
He's not eating butt.
That's the next.
No fucking way.
Hey, hairless girl, get him to eat your butt. If he's never ate your butt, hairless girl, please, because I know you're a freak.
Harry guy wouldn't eat butt with a ring on it. There's no fucking way.
Go douche that asshole. Do whatever you need to do to make it as sparkly new as possible, and make hairless guy eat your ass. All right, and report back to us.
And by the way,
email about this.
He'll never do it, but if you need any tips on how to make that thing sparkling, hit your boy up.
Yeah, he knows how to sparkle an asshole, apparently. But either way, I'm just telling you, hairless girl, I want you to pressure him into eating your ass. I want this to be a daily part of your conversations every night. He's going to eat your ass. You're going to break him down or leave him. If this man's not willing to eat your ass, should you be with this guy? I understand cream pie because he's afraid to have kids. Okay, he's afraid to death that, you know what I mean? Nothing bad is going to happen about butt eating.
He's described cream pie as gross. Not just the kid part.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's gross.
That's weird. I don't know what to tell you, but this is your homework, hairless girl. I know you're listening. I know that fucker's listening. Maybe he's going to listen first and try not to get you to listen to this episode, tell you how bad it is and everything, just so you don't listen. Possible. But if you do listen, I want this to be your mission for the next month, to get Harry guy to lick your butthole, and then I want an email telling you about it. I will never say your name, so you're in complete, no one will ever know who you are.
Anonymity.
I couldn't say it, so I didn't try. I knew
anonymity?
The word. Yeah, see, you have a hard time with. That's a tough one.
Anonymity. Yeah, because it's two ends real close together.
That's a tough one. Change that word. We're going to get something together. We're going to change that word. And Harry guy, you're going to get your tongue up your girlfriend's butthole by the end of the month.
All right, quick talk.
Just around the sides. You can rim job it. It don't need to go in.
He's not going to do it. In a billion years, Harry guy won't eat a butt. There's no way.
Why?
Because he won't. Well, you said you don't eat butt.
It's not allowed.
If it was allowed, would you do it? You would do it.
I've done it before.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't done it with the current.
Yeah. To me, it's like a last meal. I'm getting ready to go to the chair tomorrow. What do you want for your last meal?
Butt. Bring a nice butt.
Nice clean butt.
Oh, God. And then they bring fucking Roscoe over and you have to lick his asshole.
No, it's got to be Butt Eater Jen because
she got the best butthole to lick.
It's squeaky clean.
She the best butthole ever that you've had?
Best butthole I've ever eaten?
Yeah.
Bar none.
Huh?
Bar none.
Bar none?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's clean all
That's
the time.
An honor, bitch.
It's clean all the and here's the important thing.
Yeah.
When you're eating it, it never accidentally pops open a little bit.
That's good.
Because I don't want my tongue in an ass.
Yeah, you just like the rim.
I just like the rim.
Yeah.
So it never.
You never put your tongue in an ass?
I have.
Okay, I was going to say.
Wasn't my thing. Because I'm thinking there could be a turd dancing on the other side of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For no. Oh, it's.
I mean, if I stuck my tongue in and something tickled the end of it, I'd be like, ooh.
Come out doing that shit.
I mean, that would kill it for me.
Yeah.
And it's just too big of a part of my life to put in jeopardy. So, I mean, can you imagine sticking it in there? And,
tastes like corn casserole.
I'm out forever.
Forever and ever.
Hey, quick transition into sports.
Yeah. Bengals draft.
1 to 10. Yeah, rate the draft.
1 to 10? I'm rating the Bengals draft on just a 1 to 10.
Overall.
4.
See, I said 5.
Okay, somewhere right in the middle. There's a lot of questions.
I like the 2 linebackers. I do like the linebackers.
I do,
but I
hate
the first pick. Hate the first pick.
I don't hate it. I do hate it.
He had 1.5 sacks.
I do hate it. It's a look at me at the combine pick.
Yes.
He does have a super high motor and everything. There are ways you can look at that pick and justify it to a certain extent. All right. That defense he was on did not rush the passer. So he wasn't really meant to be a sack rusher or a sack man on that particular defense. That wasn't the way they were set up. They were in a conference where it's mostly going to be pass game anyways. So there wasn't a hard run game going on. That's just the way colleges are nowadays. So many colleges go to these RPOs or they go to the quick pass game, the screen, shit like that. So the pass rusher in the college isn't as big as it used to be. Even the best ones are only getting like 8, 6. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's when their whole job is that. They were saying this guy has probably not even been taught real pass rushing moves yet.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's
the guy you grab in the 4th round.
And you're not
3rd round.
That guy wouldn't have lasted till that long because he's just a freak athletically. And it's one of those things. If he does put everything together, and his drive is, if you watch him, he never gives up. I mean, he must have killed it in the interviews. But I am with you. There's top 5 available at that time. I remember looking at it right before their pick, top 5 available. And I looked at it and I go, I want any one of these 5 except him. And then they said his fucking name. And I was like,
I'm pretty confident that the Bengals wanted the Ole Miss kid that went on the previous pick.
100% I think they did also.
That's who I think they wanted. And I said that before going into it. I said the Bengals are going to want that kid out of Ole Miss.
But why?
He went to the Cardinals on the very pick before us. And I think the Bengals didn't think he was going there. And they scrambled. Because from what I read, this kid didn't get the traditional call, hey, how you doing, man? We're about to pick you. Mm-hmm. They didn't talk to him. You know, usually when a team's interested in you, they talk to you.
I don't know. I think he did get that. I've heard that call.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've heard the other kid. But hypothetically, he was never interviewed. Like, I was reading stories about.
He was a top 30 visit.
See, and that's another thing. Top 30, was he?
Yeah. Yeah,
really?
You can only interview 30 of them, and he was one of them.
Now,
no, they liked him. They definitely liked him. My problem was
I don't think he was a first pick.
Like you said, Nolan, he is, but he's a first pick for a team that doesn't need it right away. He would be a great first pick for the Eagles. He would be a great first pick for maybe even the Chiefs, or like a good defense that don't need him to be their number 1 pass rusher the first year.
Well,
the Bengals are a possibility if they don't sign Hendrickson,
which I don't think they're going to.
I don't know, but if he doesn't play, then you need this guy to be your number 1 pass rusher, and he's never gotten more than a sack and a half in a year.
Well, when they were doing this,
crazy.
He was the first thing he said in the interview is he goes, "I can't wait to play opposite Trey Hendrickson and learn from him." And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, you were drafted because he's probably not going to be there.
Well, I got a feeling that he will be there in the end. I think it's just going to be,
where are they going to get the money, dude?
They have the money. Plus,
Mike Brown don't spend that much money.
No, they have the money still, dude. They're for one thing, Jermaine Pratt's going to be cut at any point, so that frees up all the money he was making, which was a significant amount.
Yeah, you think Wilson's going too?
No, Wilson's still here. I met Wilson this week.
Did you?
Yeah, he got an oil change in Milford. Yeah, big fucking dude.
The Shedeur Sanders thing.
I think he got drafted a little late. I don't think he was a 5th round talent. I think he was probably anywhere from 2nd to 4th round talent. Maybe 1st round in today's NFL because they reach so fucking much on quarterbacks. I don't think he's any worse or better than Jackson Dart. I don't think it's a big leap from either one of those two.
I think Jackson Dart played a lot tougher defenses than fucking Shedeur did.
Maybe.
And not only did Shedeur not play against a whole lot of top 10 defenses,
He played in the Big 12. The Big 12 is not great in football.
It's not.
That's my conference.
And the thing about it is, and he played mountain teams, and he played a lot of old Pac-10 teams that weren't worth the shit in the first place. And he still got sacked a lot. He held onto the ball way too fucking long.
He did.
Imagine if he had Georgia's defensive line coming at him, what he would have been.
No. And
I think he's overrated.
Here's the thing with St. Well, I think he's properly rated. He got drafted in the 5th round.
Well,
so,
yeah,
but he was rated exactly where you
overrated
thought
by himself and Dion then.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I can't really blame Dion. It's his son.
We
all think our kid's the greatest.
I realize that,
but I don't. But
do you think that Dion? I mean, I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing this when I make this argument. When Dion went on fucking national TV and said, "There's a lot of teams I will not allow him to play for."
Yeah, it was a bad move.
Like Caleb tried it. It didn't fucking work.
Well, Caleb was the number 1 pick regardless. Caleb was a different talent.
But what I'm saying, like Lorenzo Ball, when he said, my kids this, your kids turned out really to be nothing. One of them turned out to be okay.
Yeah, a couple of them are right. But yeah.
And then the first thing the fucking diehard Shedeur fans say to me is, Eli Manning did it. Well, that's true. It happened once.
It did, and Eli Manning was looked at in the asshole for that too. But
so was Archie, because Archie spearheaded the whole thing.
But again, Eli Manning was a legit number 1 quarterback. He had a great career at Ole Miss. This wasn't a guy that, in the SEC, his brother, there was a lot to it. It wasn't a dad, it was a brother. He had the college career to back it up in a big conference, and he was still a toss-up between him and Phillip Rivers.
I think Shedeur Sanders is a ridiculously talented athlete who just thinks way too much of himself. He played, like you said, he played in the Big 12. He didn't have fucking top talent chasing him. He didn't have top talent cornerbacks covering Travis Hunter. He didn't have that.
He was he should have stayed in college another year for one thing. He was, he wasn't a senior. I don't think.
He was making $5 million.
He was making more money than he's going to make in his first 5 years in NFL. And he would have gave him another year to mature and become a better player and show that he could do it without Travis Hunter also, which is, a lot of people say, of course, you had the fucking Heisman as your wide receiver. That helps.
But let's get to that.
What?
You had the Heisman winner who played in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Can he cover NFL receivers?
Yeah, I think so. I think Hunter's, that dude's ridiculous.
He's ridiculous. And I'm
not
saying he's overrated.
The only reason he played in those conferences is because he wanted to play for Deion Sanders. He was recruited by everyone. He was
I know.
The number 1 recruit coming out of high school. That guy's ridiculous.
He's ridiculous.
And this
I'm
is
not
a guy
saying
that's
for
never,
1 second that he's overrated.
And this is a guy that's never, ever focused on one side of the ball. If he just, apparently it's defense is what he should focus on.
He's a much better
focus on
DB.
defense, he's going to be a top 5.
But how about Jacksonville being full of shit saying, yeah, we're going to let him play some both ways? No, you're not.
I think they are.
There's too much money. You can't fucking risk that.
But you're discounting who you're talking about. Jacksonville's never made great decisions. Jacksonville's run by a crazy Arab dude that don't know shit about football. His son does a lot of stuff. He's also running a wrestling organization at the same time. Jacksonville has that crazy coach that just came from Tampa Bay.
Well, in that case, you're going to burn the kid out.
Maybe. Who knows? It'll work out. Or maybe it won't. Maybe he'll show that he can do it. He's the only one that can ever do it. So I'm excited to watch Travis Hunter. Shedeur, now you're going to be in Cleveland. You still have a good chance to be the number 1 there because your competition isn't really nothing. You got old man Flacco.
Who they just signed. So 2 of them have got to go. It can't be Deshaun because they owe him way too much.
Deshaun's going to be on the injured list the whole year.
The whole year, you think?
No, 100%. Already said that.
All right, well, then let's say you get rid of Pickett.
You would just need to get rid of one of them.
Pickett.
Yeah, it would be either Pickett or maybe Sanders or fucking Gabriel. Who knows? But either way.
See, that's what I thought. I thought they said, okay, we're going to take him too. Now we got trade bait.
I'm taking Sanders before I'm taking Gabriel. There's a couple of them where I'm just like, all right, man. Like, but then again, the problem they're looking at with Sanders is I think Sanders is the way the scouts are looking at him, Shedeur, is that he's already hit his ceiling. His ceiling is that he's a very accurate, passer. You're not going to get much athleticism on the sides with him. He's not going to make a lot of like extra plays like a Mahomes or someone like that.
He's not going to go real deep.
He's not going to have the arm to scorch you super deep.
Yeah.
But he could Tua you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a Tua, that's why I said in a Miami offense, in a Minnesota offense, in a San Francisco offense, there's certain offenses where I think he will be an all right quarterback, or he could be, but he's never going to take you over a hump. You know what I mean? You're going to have shitloads of weapons around him, and you're going to have a good system, and he can definitely throw it from point A to point B accurately. But you're also going to have him protection because he's bad with holding the ball too long and shit like that.
Way too bad. And not only that, what even if he does earn the number 1 spot, and your dad is Deion Sanders. This should prove to everybody that you can't walk into interviews and be a fucking asshole.
No, it definitely proves that. And apparently that's what he did, too. I mean, again,
he
we're
was
just
on a
going by what
FaceTime
press
during one
said.
interview with a head coach. He's got a fucking FaceTime going, and he wouldn't get off of it.
Yeah. Apparently, like, people would compliment him, and he literally said something like, I don't need your approval or something.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that. You don't do that. Like, you...
I mean, like, so many dads, players have tried that.
I do hate how people tried to turn it into a race issue.
Oh, me too.
It drives me absolutely crazy. It's like, did you not see the other 149 people drafted before him that were black?
They're calling it a racial issue because of Jackson Dart. He should have went second.
Number one was Cam Ward, a black guy.
But they knew Cam Ward was going to go first. Everybody knew it. They're justifying it that way.
Jackson Dart showed up to the Senior Bowl, played his ass off. Sanders turned that down. All right?
Yeah. He wouldn't throw at the combine.
Jackson Dart showed up to the combine, had a great performance, had great interviews. Sanders did not even show up. All right? He had his chance. He chose not to.
Yeah.
If he would have came and killed those, went to the Senior Bowl and killed it without Hunter, he went to the combine, put up decent numbers, was humble, was awesome. Yeah, I think he probably would have been picked, not only picked, but I think he would have went to the Steelers.
I do too.
Unfortunately,
I thought the Steelers were originally. I thought I had Jackson Dart going to the Steelers, and I had Shedeur Sanders going to the Browns, but much, much earlier.
Well, the Steelers got what they think's a Roethlisberger clone. We'll see.
Yeah, and that's. I said that's why they picked him, because he's Big Ben.
Yeah.
He's the same fucking thing.
But only size-wise. I don't think he's going to be the same talent that Ben
No,
Roethlisberger
I don't either.
was. But either way, that's what they were going for. And the Bengals, let's get back to the Bengals real quick before we drop them. First round pick, like you said, and I said, neither of us like it. I could see it working out in the future. And as a Bengals fan, I'm going to try to be optimistic about it and hope it does. Their second round pick, I liked, but he would have been available in the third round, guys. Like, this was the fourth round middle linebacker.
Bengals are famous
because
for that.
this is the first second round linebacker they've took since Logan Wilson.
Well, what I'm saying is they're famous for taking guys a little too early.
Well, and it's because he fits what they're looking for. What they got with their two linebackers was to try to fix their problem they had with Pratt. Pratt was never a 3-down linebacker.
Yeah.
He was good at the first and second down linebacker and threatened to leave if they didn't let him do the third down. So they started letting him do the third down and they re-signed him. And
he was getting burned by tight ends.
And that's when he dropped off. Yeah. So now they got a guy that only is going to play first, second down. That's what that second round linebacker is. He's a running linebacker. He's not going to be covering the pass or anything like that. If we play a pass heavy team, he's not going to play that much. But that fourth round linebacker we got, that's what he specializes in, is covering the passes and doing that. So that he's going to come in probably third down every time. And so you drafted two linebackers that kind of replace one guy, but I think the two guys will have better production than that one guy ever did.
Yeah.
So as far as that's concerned, I don't mind it, but I think you could have got them in the third and fourth, and I think you could have got Tate Rutledge in the second. The guard that played right next to Mims in college.
Yeah.
And, then you already got that cohesiveness. He's a much surefire prospect than the guy
we got a guard out of me.
We got the other guard out in
Georgia.
the third round, and he's not a bad pick for a third round. Don't get me wrong there, and I do like him. But I think Rutledge would have been better, and I think you already had the chemistry built. This guy will be on the other side away from him. So I think you kind of missed that, and you still could have got maybe that same guy in the third. So if you switch that, you would have got a better guard and your same two linebackers, and I would have been a lot more happy with this draft. Yeah. I like the running back they got late.
I did too.
Everything else, that tackle they got late looks like he could be pretty good. They say, he could be a starter. If not, he's a swing tackle, which we need.
Did we take a DB?
No.
We didn't take one.
No, we got some undrafted free agents,
yeah.
But they pretty much put in a lot of faith in Geno Stone this year.
Well, I saw that Shedeur Sanders went undrafted.
He went to the Saints as an undrafted pick, but Shiloh was never going to be drafted.
He's a corner, right?
Yes, and he's not. He don't have the speed. He's not. He was never the guy in that family. You know what I mean? Yeah. He is the older brother. Yeah. He was the one that was an actual true senior.
I don't know. Like I said,
I like Shiloh, by the way. Shiloh's funny.
People call me, you're a hater, and I'm not a hater. I'm saying from a football perspective,
I love Deion Sanders.
I love Deion Sanders too.
Dude, that's the man. You'll never get me as a Cincinnati Reds fan and just a
those
fan
things.
of football.
You can't go into the league and say, "Fuck you."
If he had his dad's talent, he could. You know, you can come into the league as an asshole and still get drafted number. Look, Caleb Williams, prime example.
Yeah, but he went to the fucking Bears, which he said he'd never go to. He had a list of 7 teams.
Doesn't matter. In the end, that's where he went because he was still a number 1 talent. And even though he said, I don't want to go to the Bears, they're like, well, too bad you're coming because we can't pass up on that talent. If you are a can't miss dude, you can do that kind of shit. If you're, I mean, it's still not smart to do it. And you might take a couple of hits. You know, you might not be the number 1 pick. You might be the number 6 instead. Yeah. But you can get away with it more. You know, people were comparing it to Baker Mayfield. And it's like, no, Baker was a fucking Heisman winner. Yeah. One of the best college football quarterbacks of all time. Like that. Yeah. So, of course, he could be a little bit more of an asshole. You know, and people were going to take a chance on him.
Yeah, but not Shedeur asshole.
Well, he was. I mean, Baker was pretty bad. But look at another white guy, and if you want to say race, that came out the same way and took a giant hit was Johnny Manziel. Yeah, remember he
called himself Mr. Football.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Remember he was supposed to be a top 10 pick, and he ended up falling pretty far and then flunking out of the league pretty quick. Yeah, and it was the same thing. It was because he was a cocky asshole, and teams didn't want to put up with it. So that's. You hurt yourself. And the thing is I don't know if Shedeur is even actually that guy. I think he might actually be a humble dude. I think that he thought.
Oh, that kind of guy you think?
Well, I think that he got so much attention because of his father and because of his situation. And then all these brands were throwing shit at him, this legendary shit. And, you know, and kind of pumping him up and telling him this is how you make money. Because it is. He was the top paid guy in the NIL.
But that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds to me like his only concern with getting his early pick and whatever is to make the buttload of money.
Well, money was first. But, I mean, is there something wrong with that?
No,
you know
what I'm saying is.
I think he saw a chance to make a lot of money by being that person. And then when it came down to his actual football career, it ended up hurting him. And I think you're going to see a little bit more of that now that there's so much money involved in college.
Yeah.
You know
Which I mean? I've hated from the beginning.
Because let's think about it. The loudest, the most brash asshole is probably usually going to be your highest paid dude a lot of times in those kind of sports.
But he's going to have to back that up.
He's going, well, and that's not just him. I'm just saying, just in general, I think you're going to see this more because of the money that's involved now. Because these guys have to have their personality put out there before their football personality.
There's a big difference between, here's how good I am.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between that and walking into a locker or into a head coach's office and basically saying,
yeah, you're right. That is,
I don't need shit from you.
And that is crazy.
And when he went on TV right before the fucking draft, and made the stupid comment is, you know, whatever team's lucky enough to get me, is going to have to change their offense to fit around me. Fuck you, dude.
You don't have the talent for that.
No one's going to do that.
No.
Just like when fucking Caleb's dad said, I want 5% ownership in the team. Fuck you, dude. Yeah. There's enough talent in this league. We don't have to have you.
No, but I mean, if Caleb got as good as Mahomes, I bet you Mahomes could get a percentage. You know what I mean?
You can't get a percentage after getting a $500 million contract.
Not now because he already got the contract. Yeah. But I'm just saying in general, I bet you in the future, I wouldn't be surprised to see shit like that in contracts for those top dogs.
Those top dogs after they've proven it. Not coming out of college. No. That'll never happen.
I'd hope not. It shouldn't.
Me too.
I mean, even the union tried to keep that in check where these guys can't really hold out for giant money. It's already kind of put in place, so we don't get that anymore.
The way he acted throughout this thing, it was just no fucking surprise to me that he didn't get taken early.
I can't believe we didn't have this fan on the whole time. It's hotter than a motherfucker.
I'm hotter than a motherfucker. Right now, those guys are at the Reds game.
Yeah, watching a loss.
Beers. No, they're not losing, are they?
They're down 1-0.
1-0?
1-0.
It's nothing.
No, it's
not.
But
the whole point is my vacant seat now has beers in it.
Oh, they
popcorn.
These losers couldn't find a friend?
Well, I don't think they wanted to. You're talking two big dudes. How about an empty seat in between?
Seat's pretty nice. Yeah, you're right.
Those
Never mind.
Fucking red seats. Imagine if it was all three of us and Mike would have been like this.
Yeah. I remember the Taft Theater.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the Taft Theater. Poor guy couldn't barely sit down.
And they were yelling at me because I took a certain seat. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know. I just
There's two seats on this side, 2 seats on this side.
I just didn't like how you had your arm around me. But outside of that, I was good.
I have to put my arm somewhere. It wasn't around you. It was on the chair.
It was around me.
It was on the chair.
I felt romanced. I wasn't going to give you anything.
You didn't give anything
up.
No,
I mean, you got me those free tickets. Or we paid for those tickets. Never mind.
We did?
Yeah, we paid for those. Remember, Whoopi got them for me.
Yeah. What ticket was that?
Stavros.
Stavros
was funny as fuck.
Stavros. So,
you want to go see Big J with me here in like a week or two, I think, at Go Bananas? Or
Big J Ogerson?
Funny Bone, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's coming to Funny Bone. Yeah, on Saturday night.
Oh, Saturday.
Yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, but I'm off both nights, so.
Yeah, I could probably make that happen.
Let's make that happen. Big J's a funny motherfucker.
I like Big J.
And it's just all crowd work, so it's usually new shit.
Yeah, I'm always down for that. I just have to, clear a few things.
Clear my schedule up. All right, where are we at in this show?
Well, we're getting towards the end, but I got to fuck you if you got one.
I got to fuck you. I didn't know if you had any cuck updates or any of that stuff.
Actually, I do.
Okay.
I told you that story where I had this one couple that wanted me to basically cuck this woman without the husband even there.
Yes. Mystery.
She started sending me like videos with my name in it.
Well, how was your name in it? She like write your name
Oh,
on her
Chris,
butt?
I can't wait to suck your dick and stuff like that.
Talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
If she was 20% hotter, I'd have been really turned on by this, but she wasn't.
She wasn't.
No, and it was like, I was wondering why at the very beginning he said, "What's your name?" And then I started getting all these videos. Dildo going in, Chris, this should be your cock. Oh, Chris, I want to be your whore. And I was like, this is hot.
Yeah.
If I can just put my hand over this part.
What's wrong with her?
A little chubby.
A little chubby?
Not fat.
Okay.
But she's got some mama rolls.
Yeah, mama rolls that'll happen.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not bothered by that.
Yeah, I am.
But tats everywhere. Mm-hmm. But it was just like the videos were pretty cool. And then I started getting some really cool pictures with like my name drawn on it.
Mm-hmm. That's weird to me.
Chris's pussy.
Yeah, that's
an
weird
arrow
to me.
going. Did I show you those pictures?
Yeah, I don't even like that.
It was just funny because
I guess it's
like,
funny, but
hey, my wife's going to say to you, I want to be your whore pictures. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's pretty cool. I haven't called him in a couple weeks. I haven't messaged him in a couple weeks.
Just wasn't attractive enough for you.
It's just not my thing. It would have been my thing if she looked a little different.
She was a little. What was the face like? I know you're not a face guy, but it wasn't enough to make up for the mama rolls and the poorly placed tattoos.
It wasn't a whole lot better.
All right, fair enough.
So, yeah, that's where I am in the cuck lifestyle, and
you just haven't. Yeah,
the videos were cool though. I will say
you're open to new customers, but you're not desperate for new customers.
Ooh, Chris, I'm your whore. I'm your whore, Chris. Yeah, and they're going, all right,
cool.
Tried to beat off to it, wasn't happening. So when I knew that wasn't happening, but I tell you something really cool did happen. And it just brought me back to what my mission is right now.
You got a mission?
Well, me and Matt were sitting in a bar having a couple beers yesterday before the game. That never happened. And as I'm walking out to the car, who's walking in at the exact same time? Midget.
Oh,
female midget. And I was like, they're out here.
They're out here.
They're out here. I was like, hey, how you doing? Oh, fine, thanks. And I was sitting there thinking, she could blow me right now with us both standing straight up.
Did you follow her in?
No.
Try to have a talk?
No.
You didn't pursue very hard.
Well, no, it wasn't the right time, and she was very, very, very young.
She wasn't the right midget?
Probably mid to late 20s. But I'm saying the midgets are out there because I would have, had she said, hey, any chance you want to fuck a midget? I would have said, yeah, I'm in.
I feel like I'd have a hard time guessing a midget's age. More so than normal.
No, the face is the same.
Yeah,
but she had that, decent looking midget.
She had the flappers.
Decent looking midget there.
Well, you missed your chance, dude.
No, it could
have been the one.
It showed me that they are out there.
I could have been a midget with daddy issues. All right.
If that was the case when I held the door for her, she would have said, "Hey, thanks."
Hey, Papa.
But she didn't do any of that. I can read.
Okay, you can read.
Yeah, I can read. I don't know if I can read midgets because I don't know if they think differently.
They might speak in a different tone.
Yeah, but if I would have just accidentally brushed my Johnson against the side of her cheek, maybe she would have got it. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
Sorry about that.
Because it would have been, I could have easily slid 6 inches forward and it would have.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Hey, I'll do my fuck you first. Fuck you out the RFK. Oh, the RFK. This motherfucker. Listen, I used to be a supporter, as you know. I've came on this podcast.
You did.
I was a fan. And, and everybody's freaking out because this dumb shit claims that he's going to solve autism by September or something like that, which I love that he's just going to come out and say that because absolutely fucking retarded.
Hey, there's a real autism problem in this country. Thank God for
We're
RFK.
gonna look around.
He's going to fix it.
He said it might be environmental. What do you mean environmental? The leaves are blowing different, so all of a sudden all the kids got autism. You dumb shit. But whatever. There, like, okay, it's nice to have goals. Like,
Yeah, that's a pretty big goal.
Yeah, whatever, dude. If you're gonna
End autism.
find out what causes autism by September after I've been doing research on it for fucking 30 years.
Yeah.
Hey, fucking good for you there, Mr. Can't Talk Right, brainworms. But the speech that he gave, where he was talking about how autistic kids are nothing but like trouble to their parents, and they'll never live a regular life. He said they'll never be able to use the bathroom. They'll never be able to go out on dates. They're a drain to their family. Are you fucking kidding me, you fucking cunt? You know how disrespectful that is to every fucking parent of an autistic kid, especially ones that use the bathroom just fine, you fucking retard. I don't know what kind of autistic kids you're around, but they can pee.
Yeah.
It's not a problem, all right? They can probably get some pussy if they want it. They just don't care as much as the rest of us, it seems like. I think that's the big hold up on that one.
And every now and then there's a few extra drops on the floor. But hey, we can all get around that.
Me too.
Me too.
I'm a bad aimer. But either way, fuck you, RFK. To try to just trivialize everything and put it down to such a little thing.
Yeah.
It's not only is it disrespectful, but it's just plain fucking stupid.
Yeah.
This is a guy that at one point I thought he was intelligent. And now I'm realizing this guy's not intelligent, really. He fucking boils everything down to very simple shit, and he's just a crazy person.
Oh, he's nuts.
I guess I don't blame him too much. The CIA killed everyone he's ever loved. But either way, like
CIA didn't kill Ted.
He's now a lunatic, and he himself said he was attacked by brainworms, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Just go away, dude. I just want everybody to just go away. But fuck you, RFK. I used to be a fan. I'm not a fan anymore.
How can you be?
Yeah,
the guy's crazy.
And then they put a database together. Okay, Hitler. What are you fucking getting registries for mentally disabled people? That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up.
It is.
But
he didn't get
fuck him.
Any votes at all. So, I mean, people realized he's nuts.
He's a grifter. And then just to change, he's a I'm sorry, all these, him and Tabby, or whatever fucking name is, the defense secretary.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand how you can be a Democrat your whole life and then switch to Donald Trump.
Michael Rappaport did it.
Yeah, well, there's quite a few people, but it's just so complete opposite of everything that you say you believe in. Now, I can understand not liking and thinking the Democrats did bad, which they definitely have, but it doesn't change my world outlook.
Yeah.
I still believe these are the things that should be done.
Yeah.
I still believe this is the shit that should be done, whether they were good at it or bad at it. The ideals stay the same, so I just don't get how people do it. Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, right.
Lifelong dim, anti-war. Now she's in charge of a thing that looks like it's setting off wars every other fucking second.
Yeah.
So, fuck all of them.
Well, that's another thing with this political bullshit. How in the world can Trumpers were all over the fact that the Ukrainian president came in, he was basically attacked by J.D. Vance and Trump and said, you're a piece of shit. You're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. And now Trump's going after Putin.
Well,
Putin, you need to stop the war. He said, but he's still saying,
I think he's doing it for
optics. He's telling the whole country that he's laying his hammer down and he's getting on Putin now to stop the war. How can you change sides like that?
Because
on a fucking war.
He didn't. What he did is he's not my fuck you. He wants the peace deal to be done, but the peace deal that's going to be done by Trump is 100% to Russia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pro-Russia.
Pretty much, it's very, very. It's exactly what they wanted to begin with, almost. So outside of the NATO thing, but even the NATO thing's not going to happen now because America don't even want part of it. So they're definitely not going to have Ukraine be part of it or any of that shit. But either way, so he's pissed at Putin because he's like, hey, I'm going to give you everything you want, and you're still bombing these guys. That's making me look bad.
Yeah.
All right, stop bombing them. You get everything you want. Let's move on. That's
the way Trump's bombing fucking schools and killing children and things like that. He has to
at least show optics. He might say that in public and then call Putin and go, "Hey man,
that's probably my guess is that's exactly
what happened. And they're after
happened.
me. Hey man, can you knock this off? But for real, don't take that personal."
But I looked last night.
I think he's Putin bitch. So.
I was watching the news last night.
Yeah,
and it said that after the first 100 days, his approval rating's like 35.
It's 39, I believe, or something.
That's pretty bad.
That. I mean, it depends on what part you look at, but
pretty bad.
None of them are in his favor.
Yeah,
and that's
what I'm saying.
I think he has the worst one ever, or some shit like that. No, he's lost all the independence that he had. He got quite a lot of independence.
I think he lost. I think his approval rating sucks because he involved Elon Musk. I think the country hates Musk more than they hate Trump.
It didn't help him.
No, I think even Republicans are like,
it helped him get elected, though.
It did.
It did help him get elected.
Well, because the idea, but then when he was more involved in more things than the campaign said he was going to be involved in.
Yeah.
And the campaign, he's going to come in here and help fix government spending and save the country billions of dollars.
Don't underestimate the Joe Rogan vote. And the Joe Rogan vote, people, you say it sounds funny, right? But Joe Rogan gets more ratings than any show on TV, on regular TV. So, people would say like Anderson Cooper was influential or, any of the
Oprah
or any of them, Bill O'Reilly in his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Rogan gets historic numbers on his podcast. So when he changed completely, and Elon Musk had a huge deal with that because he became friends with Elon and then started repeating Elon shit because he thinks Elon's this fucking genius. And so, of course, Elon's right about everything kind of thing is the way Rogan's kind of went about. And that switched probably, I'm not even kidding, that probably switched over 1 million voters to Trump that we wouldn't have got previously.
It could have.
I mean,
because honestly, I think that
young
Oprah
generation,
got Barack Obama.
Not our generation, not your generation, but like the 20-year-olds, early 30-year-olds, that guy's like a fucking hero to a lot of them. And they're coming into the voting range, maybe didn't have an opinion one way or the other, but when they listen to this guy for 3 hours a day, 3 times a week, all of a sudden now they might be agreeing with him.
Well,
that was a huge block of it.
And I've always said that Barack Obama doesn't get elected without Oprah. And it's really true.
Wow.
Back then, she was on 5 days a week. She was giving away houses and cars. She was the biggest thing on the planet.
Yeah, she was huge.
Barack Obama came out as his congressman, and nobody really knew much about him. And she put him center stage on that fucking show and told the world how good he was.
Yeah. Well, he got really...
And he won in a landslide.
He won when he gave that speech at the Democratic convention the year before. He fucking killed it. And that made him a candidate. And then Oprah definitely helped by keeping him in the public highlight.
I agree.
Either way, that was a big thing. Here's your fuck you.
Fuck you to anybody who goes into a convenience store and buys more than 5 items.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck anybody.
I agree with you.
This is a fucking convenience store. They're triple charging you for all these fucking items. And I'm stuck behind the motherfucker that's grocery shopping.
Yeah.
I went into a fucking Speedway yesterday
rich.
to pay for my fucking gas. And there's this woman standing there with an armful of items, one cashier, and she's got no less than 30 to 40 fucking items.
That's
candy
insane.
bars and fucking potato chips and 12 packs of Coke that are $11 and all this fucking bullshit. And she dumps on there. I said, well, my quick gas trip is going to be about 20 minutes now.
Why do you go inside to pay for gas?
Huh?
Why do you go inside
The
to pay for
outside
gas?
thing was broken.
Oh, okay.
And besides the fact that twice now, I've got skimmed at the gas
that
pump.
happens on the west side.
Yeah, so it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
So bottom line is, I'm nervous about sticking my card in the machine now.
Yeah.
Besides, I was going in to get a Monster anyway, and you can't, But bottom line is, I stood there fucking 15 minutes.
You got to do the thing now.
And she's going, beep.
Yeah, you got to...
30 fucking items.
When I used to work late, Walgreens was the only thing open. And you get that at Walgreens at like 2 a.m, someone's grocery shopping. Or you had all those Door Dashers that would be there.
Yeah.
Trying to argue over something that wasn't scanning right or something. You're like, God damn it, I just want my fucking turkey sandwich so I can go home and eat in bed.
Well, you should have just stolen it.
That's what I do at work. I wouldn't do that at a reputable place.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, and I'm not making this any certain way, people, because this woman was white. I'm thinking that maybe she was on food stamps and they take food stamps, because no person in their right mind is going to spend $100 at Speedway when they get the same thing at Kroger for $30.
Hey man, don't get me on that, because I'm one of those libbies that supports food stamps, but I get pissed off when I see them spend $100 on fucking Snickers.
Yeah, but some people
I know
get a lot of food stamps.
Those are the types of libbies that really bother me, though. Are the ones who are like, they should be able to buy whatever they want. It's their money. It's like, well, no, come on, man. Like I agree, we should feed them, but not whatever they want.
Yeah.
This
was all candy bars.
You shouldn't be able to scan for fucking Coca-Cola on food stamps. Sorry.
Yeah.
Water. You can get water.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's what the fucking that other thing is. It gives you specific items you can buy. Wick.
Yeah, but WIC's very specific to kids, I believe. You got to have a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that more. Like you can get a block of cheese and a thing of milk, and there's always some weird shit.
But you have to take out the little thing. Okay, here's my milk for the week. I don't get any more.
Yep. No,
That's what you get.
I had WIC.
Did you?
When Kane was first born, he was approved for WIC, so we took it. And yeah, I'd have to go up and get the very specific things and I would mark it off, and it was super embarrassing.
But you make me stand in line at Speedway for 15 minutes because you're grocery shopping for the week at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a fucking Wednesday. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And fuck you to anybody else who does it. Now, I could see going in, buying a drink, bag of chips, whatever. When you get to 5 items, you fucking stop.
You leave. The only person worse is the fucking scratch-off person.
Oh, the lottery person, period.
The lottery
person that's got a long ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, put these with the kicker. I want these with the kicker. I want these without the fucking kicker. Here's one that I won last week for $2. Apply that to it. This one's got the kicker. I want a 3-box, 3-way.
I hope you get butthole AIDS.
I hope you don't win.
You can kindly fuck off now. Please subscribe and share. Well, you can kindly fuck off now. Subscribe and share.